everybody. Welcome. Happy Tuesday. Happy Giving Tuesday. Happy day we're all trying to catch our breath from Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Tuesday. Thanks for taking some time to hang out with us today. I'm super excited to introduce you to Keri O'Brien. She is, did I say that correctly?
O'Brien, Wytrwal, I go by whatever.
Oh,
there's too many last names.
Right. I still have you as O'Brien in my notes.
I actually officially changed my last name, so you're good.
Oh, I did the same thing. From WetPlants, we're gonna have so much fun on this call. Okay, from WetPlants, and she's gonna tell you all about that affiliate program. And drop us a note. Let us know if you're here live. Say hello. If you have any questions, be sure to ask those in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay or on YouTube, you can drop those in the comments below. We can answer you there as well. And I think that is it. I think there was one other thing. It'll come to me later. Keri, thank you again so much for joining us. I know you were trying to catch your breath from this weekend. It was quite a weekend. So let's jump right into, I know what it was. It was, Sarah, if you will drop the link to sign up to the program in just a few minutes when we get to that. So Keri, tell us all about you. How'd you get started with WetPlants and just everything?
Awesome. Yeah. Well, my name is Keri. I am the owner of WetPlants. So I've owned this business for almost 3 years now. And we primarily serve the aquatic industry. So we have freshwater plants for freshwater fish tanks. So think of like your common fish, like betta fish or cichlids or goldfish even, although they like to eat plants a lot. So if you're okay feeding your goldfish live plants and giving them a great diet, it's perfect. And then we also have plants for ponds. So think about that nice 2-acre pond. You just bought a house and you have this huge pond and you're like, it's growing green algae. It looks like gross, whatever the case is. We have plants to help with all of that and then to also make it look pretty. And our pond plants are seasonal, so usually in the springtime, and they sell out so quick. Usually by the time June's around, like we're out of plants for the year, which is crazy, but it just happens to be that there's a very short pond season. So yeah, we have all things aquascaping. We have a lot of, rocks, and we're bringing on more lifestyle products like some puzzles and some swag, more or less. So you can sport your favorite hobby, hopefully. Like my favorite is the I Wet My Plants sticker that we have. It's a little goldfish on it with like a crazy face, like, yeah, no crap, you wet your plants. That's a good seller. It's fun.
I love it. So tell me, I'm just curious, how did you get into this?
So I've always had fish tanks growing up, and it's kind of funny. Like I never, I always bought the neon gravel and the plastic ornaments basically to put in fish tanks. And, after college, I found out you can actually put live plants in your fish tank. Go figure, right? Like create a natural environment. So I got into it. I had a couple tanks going, and then, life happens, got out of it. And then WetPlants came around and realized the industry has grown tremendously over the last couple of years. And it's really a fun hobby to have. It's relaxing, and a lot of people have started to do it. I actually have an old boss that started to do it as therapy. And his doctor's like, you need to set up a fish tank because it's very therapeutic to care for your fish, to clean your water, clean the gravel, do the maintenance on the tank. So it's been growing like crazy in that part of the industry. Like I love that doctors prescribe to go get a fish tank.
So my dad was a psychologist for 40 years, and he had aquariums in every room of his private practice.
I mean, think about how many doctor's offices do you go into and there's a fish tank set up? It's crazy. It's nice too, like for pediatric offices when they have them, keep the kids entertained, whatever the case is. And the cool thing about those is they hire people to come in and clean them and stuff, because it is a lot of maintenance, but it tends to be an enjoyable hobby for someone, especially if you have OCD. It's one of those things that's really soothing and helpful. And
live plants actually keep the aquariums cleaner, right?
So I mean, I have tanks that, no joke, and I actually know Greg is in the same spot. Like I remember when I was first telling him about this, he had a fish tank for like over a year and he never had to do a water change on it. And my tanks aren't that good. Like I still do water changes, but I usually just do them once a month just to make sure all like the levels are good. But it's an easy hobby to get into. And that's what I love about it is, anyone can start. It does take some practice. you know, you might have some dead plants here or there as you're learning things, but who doesn't? You're learning. And the good thing is a lot of plants grow back. If you do somehow kill them or they start dying off, they are plants, so they will grow back. But it's really just learning how to care for them. And there's some really easy plants out there. So that's why it's also great for beginners, because I call them the no-kill plants. The only way you can really kill them is if you leave them out of water.
Okay. Yeah, that would probably be, I can kill silk plants. All right, so we have indoor aquarium stuff. You said you have ponds, but like, so water features and stuff like that, like koi ponds, but also, and I think Greg actually has this too, like actual water features where it's just like a little fountain, but looks so pretty with like a lotus flower or.
Exactly. You can just put a nice lotus in there, or a lily, something that has some nice paths. It'll bloom a nice flower for you. And it's kind of just makes a nice focal point of your deck or your backyard. And it's a small space to keep versus a 2-acre pond.
Right. I love that. So you have, you said you touched on the rocks, driftwood. So this is like just about everything.
Everything. Yeah. And then hopefully next year we're going to start adding some, like we get a lot of questions like, what's your favorite light? What's your favorite tank to use? So hopefully we'll start bringing on some more of those products too. So you can really buy like what we highly recommend. Cause we've tested a lot of products out there. So we have a good idea of, you know, what's really good, what's good for a beginner, what's good for someone that's super advanced and, you know, wants CO2 and all these other products in their tank.
So speaking of that, so like, let's say we've got an affiliate who's going to be writing a post, which there's some great keywords about getting started with your very first fish tank, right? And so we talk a lot about how solving problems and offering solutions are the ways to really have converting posts. So let's say that we're writing a post this week because Santa's bringing us a new aquarium.
It's not a puppy, it's a fish.
That's right. Which is much better. So where do we begin? How do we know where to begin?
So I love telling people about our package deals because it can be overwhelming. There's so many different types of plants out there and so many things to do to care for them. So we really built these package deals as a way for someone who's new to the aquarium industry to go in and not have to spend hours of research. We did all the work for you. So some of our great ones are our starter packs. Those are good for, you know, a great beginner. They come with 5 plants for a smaller tank. And we have another one that has 8 different types of plants for a larger tank. But really, these are like the no-kill plants. The only way you're going to kill them is if you leave them out of water. And they're super easy to use. And it gives you the nice full setup. So all you need to do is get your tank and your fish. Hopefully next year we'll be providing the tank, but you get your tank and your fish and then has all the different types of plants you need. So your background plants, your foreground plants, and then everything in between to really get started. Same thing like our beta fish pack. Everyone, you know, I feel like everyone's owed a beta fish at some point in their life. And you want to make sure they have a nice, happy environment. They tend to actually be kind of shy, even though, you know, they always see them fighting and stuff. They like to hide under driftwood or rocks or behind, you know, if you have some nice tall like Java fern in there, like, and they like playing. So you'll actually, my beta fish actually plays around in my tank. He will like go in and out of the different leaves. Sometimes like if I have some smaller rocks, he'll try to roll them over. So like they like to be entertained.
I love, now I want a beta. I was just thinking, I'm like, I haven't had a beta fish in so long and I had mine for years. I didn't even know they lived that long.
I mean, my guy right now, he's about 2 years old. My sister had one that was like, I think she had it for like about 4 or 5 years.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, was he 5 years old? Yeah.
Yeah, they lived that long in like, you know, their little container of water with just water and your neon gravel. Like you can give them such a better life.
I'm going to end up with a beta by the end of the week. That's
plants for you.
Right. And then I'll order plants. Absolutely. Okay. So let's talk about shipping. So I know that this has to be a logistical thing. And I know you have this down pat and I love that. So tell us how this works. So somebody goes, is there a shipping schedule?
Yeah, there's a shipping schedule. So because we have a live plant, there's a couple of things. We only ship really Mondays and Tuesdays, sometimes Wednesdays, depending on where someone lives, because we don't want to risk the plants getting stuck in the mail over the weekend. Our goal is to have the plants to you in 3 days max. So what we've done is we've worked with all of our shipping carriers to get really great programs. So many of our plants are actually sent 2-day air. So they're not sitting on trucks. They're not sitting in facilities. They go to one facility and then they're straight to you. It's a quick delivery. And then, if you're happen to be in the Northeast, we'll send it ground because it's actually only a day. And basically what we do is before all the plants go out, they're all packaged as well. So everything comes in a thermal mailer. And then if an ice pack or heat pack's necessary, it comes with that too, to make sure your plants are like secure, and then they're put in a box. So you don't have to worry about any really damage to them. So we ask that our customers order by Thursday at noon. And what that does is it just gives us enough time to get through the weekend and get all the plants gathered together, because we have to cut them. We grow some plants our own. We have some plants that come from a nursery. So it just gives us time to make sure you're getting the freshest plants possible. And then Monday or Tuesday, we'll ship out your plants so you have them by the end of the week.
And then when does each one, so I receive it, I unpack it. Is there something that I need to do, or do I just throw them in the aquarium?
So we always advise, if you're worried, snails are something that are pretty common in the aquatic industry. They're actually part of growing plants are snails, but some people don't like them. Some people do. So if you are a person that doesn't like snails, we recommend at a minimum just rinsing your plants in water, giving them a good rinse, make sure there's no, critters on them. Or some people, if you're a little bit more intense, you can do a 2-week plant quarantine and then put them in your tank. It's really just a personal preference. I usually just get my plants. I'm so excited, and rinse them and plop them in my tank.
Just throw them right in there.
Yeah. And then the other thing too is we actually offer a guarantee. So obviously shipping delays happen. So things like Black Friday week, we actually wait till Black Friday, Cyber Monday's over to ship again, because we don't want to risk getting the plants stuck. But if plants, it happens, delays happen, a driver delivers it to a neighbor's house or whatever the case is, we do have a 12-hour guarantee. So we just say, once you get your plants and they say delivered, you have 12 hours, send us a photo of the plants and their packaging, if they're dead or mushy or whatever the case is, and we'll replace them for you.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That's great customer service. Okay, I know that Sarah put the link. Let's talk about the actual affiliate program for a few minutes. So it's run exclusively on the Refersion network, which so if you were not familiar, this is my favorite platform. I say this.
It's amazing. I've worked in lots of platforms, and this is by far the simplest, most streamlined.
It is. And what I love about it is that you can sign up today. We can approve you today, and you can start promoting today. There is no wait time for you to be approved on the Refersion network. If you've got an email address, you're in. I love that. And the program does, let's see, we've got a 10% commission on any orders tracked through the affiliate link with a 30-day tracking gap. And you also allow for vanity codes,
yes.
Which I love. That is so great. Social media, it's not going anywhere. It's only getting bigger. So you can create, videos and reels and Instagram and all that kind of good stuff, and promote just the code that you set up. And that will also track to, for commission too. So I love that you do that. That's so smart. I wish we could do that in every single program. That's my favorite thing.
I get it. It's, you guys, what you could do to get a sale sometimes, and coupons are great. I love using coupons. I know whenever I go somewhere to shop, I search for a coupon. So I want to make sure that everyone else has that chance too.
Yes.
I saw there too, someone was just commenting shrimp. Yes, we're building a shrimp pack out right now. We're just getting some photography done on it. But shrimp are, people keep pet shrimp. So remember the little sea monkey kits you can get? Essentially, those are shrimp. So you can make some really awesome tanks, and shrimp are amazing. They clean tanks like no one else, but they come in all these crazy colors. I would love to sell shrimp. I just don't have the space to breed and grow them right now, maybe down the line. But plants are great for shrimp too.
I'm probably showing my age, but I'm imagining the little guy from Finding Nemo. Little shrimp.
Someone asked that too. So these plants are all for freshwater. We do have some plants that can go in brackish water, but no saltwater plants.
Perfect. I love it. You're looking at the comments more than I am. I'm having so much fun just chit-chatting. Let's see. So if there was one thing that you wish that you could really have everybody know about WetPlants, what would it be? We talk about our affiliates. I'll give you a second. Our affiliates, we want them to champion you. We want them to be super fans. If, by the way, insiders, if you already have content that is around this, if you have aquariums, whatever, we can work out product reviews. I mean, Keri, you're so great at let us help you get this content up. What would you want everybody to talk about and to really promote and tell everybody about WetPlants?
I mean, I think our package deals are just it. We keep them at 25% off. So if you were to go buy all those plants individually, you're saving 25%. But really, it's just such an easy, like, here's my present to you as, an affiliate to give someone. We've done the research. So you've done the research to give right to the customer. And, it's an easy hobby to get into. So even if, you have no clue what aquascaping is, or you have no clue how to keep your own fish tank, like, those starter packs are so easy, and they're really for anyone to try and use and get the opportunity to learn there.
You don't know how bad I want to go get an aquarium right now. I'm literally looking over my shoulder. I'm like, it could go right there.
It looks adorable in the background.
That's right.
You're going to need something to replace the Christmas tree in January. So
see, I like how you think. Awesome. Well, insiders, you've had so many great questions. Oh, here's one. How many plants average should you have per gallon?
It really is going to depend. So it depends on what type of fish you have, because you have some fish like cichlids love to eat and destroy and uproot fish. So I always recommend, if you have a cichlid tank, you really just want plants that you're going to anchor to something so they can't really dig them up. Same thing with goldfish. They love to move around plants. So it really just depends on the type of plant and what you have. So that's why when we have our package deals, it'll actually tell you what size tank they're good for. So you don't have to do any of that guesswork.
I love it. Do you have plants for me that kill plants? Kara must have come in early. Yes.
Yes. So the starter pack, and actually the beta fish pack too, pretty much all of our packages actually are very easy, beginner friendly plants. And pretty much the only way to kill them is to leave them out of water. They grow, some of them grow floating. So if they're not planted in sand, but they're all pretty easy. The only thing is you just need to make sure you have nutrients, because just like any plant, you need, a house plant, you need water. Sometimes you need fertilizer. Same thing happens with aquatic plants. They just need a nutrient source. Fish poop happens to be a great nutrient source for a lot of plants. And it's just a great way to cycle your tank too and keep everything in balance.
So these plants can go in rock and sand, right?
Yep. Or gravel, whatever substrate you have. Sometimes with sand though, it's not necessarily a natural for fresh water. It is and it isn't. You just got to make sure you have some nutrients in there. And they make these really awesome root tabs that you just plop right in the sand, and it gives your plants all the nutrients it needs.
Perfect. Let's see. My husband currently has a range of 1 to 3 inch river rock as a substrate. If this isn't optimal, what type of substrate is best?
So, I mean, optimal is really, it could be made optimal, basically. You can use liquid fertilizers to get things going, or you just use plants that are more floating, like an Anubias or a Java fern. You can attach them right to the rocks. Little known fact, you can actually take super glue and glue your plant root to a rock, and before the plant will grow just fine. But it's certain types of plants like Java fern and Anubias, and it solidifies essentially before you put it in the water, so you don't have to worry about it seeping any chemicals or anything like that. But really, there's a substrate called Eco Complete that I absolutely love, and it actually has nutrients built in. And I think they say you don't have to change the substrate for 1 to 2 years, but I've had tanks with it for 4+ years. And the plants are just fine, and it's still giving them nutrients and everything. So that's also just a great option for beginners.
That all went so over my head. I'm going to have so many questions. I'm
just let me know.
I have so many questions. The other thing too, we were talking about keywords a few minutes ago, and someone said that they looked, and there are a ton of
keywords. Oh my goodness.
There are also a bunch, and I know you have a turtle.
Yes.
Package.
Oh my gosh. The turtle community is so underserved. Underserved. They just need so much great content for that.
Yes. And that we had those tiny little turtles, but then I thought one was going to be tiny, and then it got very large. Yeah, I've had a zoo. That's what happens when you have 2 daughters that want to be veterinarians. So
there you go. Yeah, turtles love plants. They love to eat them. They do love to eat them. That is my one thing. They really do love eating plants, but there's a lot of plants that they won't eat too. So our pack offers a mixture. We have a lot of customers that actually just buy our plants to feed for their turtles. Instead of going to buy turtle pellets, they feed them live plants.
Right. Well, I would think it would be, more nutritious and more fun to watch them eat.
Right? It's enjoyable. They treat them like family.
So that, yeah, but the keywords were crazy, and we are going to have some training. I'm actually working on them for how to do keyword research. I'm in the middle of a bunch of site audits, and that's like the main thing we're going over. And so I was actually looking for keywords.
Yeah, turtles, beta plants, plants for beginners are all very hot keywords. Anything really, if you can get specific on like certain types of fish too, and we're always open. So like if you guys message us through the Refersion and you're like, I really want to promote a goldfish pack, like we'll make a goldfish pack. We know it's out there. We know there's, we're really flexible when it comes to that kind of stuff too. We want to do what we can do to help support you, because it's a nice symbiotic relationship. You support us, we support you. We're happy to be there.
I love it. And you so get it. You so understand it. And you're always so generous. And we appreciate that so much.
Oh, no problem.
Well, this has been terrific. I think we've answered all of the questions. Again, insiders, if you're watching this on the replay and you have more questions, you can drop it in the comments. Oh, nope, there's another one. Just kidding. Which plants are great for plecos?
Plecos, oh my gosh. They are definitely an interesting one because they do love to like surf along the bottom. So definitely making sure you have some sand for them to go on is cool. But I always stick to because fish do have their own, and all sorts of freshwater creatures have their own personalities. So start with something like a Java fern or a Nubius that if it gets uprooted, it can float and still survive, and see how your aquatic friend adapts to them. Because I've had a goldfish tank where my fish never touched the plants, and then I put a new goldfish in there and they uprooted everything. So it's really just your individual friend's personality. Sometimes they do like to uproot, but I always just like to say, start with a Nubius and Java fern. You can't kill them. And it's a good.
It sounds like those are pretty like standard, can go with most everything.
They're in all of our packages too. They're just a really nice, healthy. Anubias are my favorite plants. They're so like, they have these lovely broad leaves and really cool shapes to them. So I think they're good. Or you can, and you're saying you're always uprooting, put them on, do the hot glue trick. So put them right on some driftwood or some dragon stone, and they can't uproot them for you. That's redecorating.
I had the cichlids, and they would move the rocks constantly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, now we all need aquariums. We'll work on that this week. So thank you again so much. We will get this uploaded. Sarah, if you'll drop the link one more time in the chat, then we will include it on the replay. And just, Keri, thanks again for taking.
Thank you for having me.
I'll see you next week.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.